Welcome to the Gibberpish podcast.
So we may not have a clue about how to work in EQ, but we're here to talk Gibberpish, aren't we, Dale?
Yes, we are back for episode 13, and we've got a pretty good show for you in store this week.
Our usual mixed bag.
Usual mixed bag, yeah. We've got a bit of sports. I'm going to ramble about the Scottish transport system. Got a bit of rugby in there, a wee bit of game news. It's an enjoyable pick and mix of geek topics.
Gaming news coming in strong again as usual.
Yeah.
And I think we should really quickly start with Japan versus Florida.
I am clueless about this subject. You have something in store and you have a fucking Cheshire Cat's grin on your face. So I can tell already this is going to be a good story. I will concede the floor to you, sir.
You were going to watch a video submitted to us by a loyal fan, Lance Pear, thank you very much, at Son of Corax on Twitter. You have sent us a interesting choice of two videos. I'm going to just show one to Dom because I think one is all we need.
Okay, we're going to go quiet for like it'll be a couple of seconds to you, however long the video is to us.
But 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and we're going to come back and you're going to hear live my reaction to this video because...
Hope you enjoy the polka music from before. I'm going to put that in again, just splicing in 10-15 seconds or something like that. So 10-15 seconds of polka, and then Dom is probably going to swear. So Dom has just borne witness to the mastery of Japanese television that is the handjob karaoke show.
What the fuck? How is this fucking legal in Japan?
They have the modesty screen. A screen of fabric covers about a foot from, lower waist.
Say like belly button to just lower thigh.
Above the knee, yeah.
Lower thigh.
All you need to cover while a man sings karaoke as he's jerked off by a not unattractive Japanese woman.
No, the modesty screen is completely and utterly negated by them showing where he finishes, and not where he finishes the song, where he fucking climaxes. The camera points down to show you his shame as he continues singing quite well.
Hats off to the guy, yeah.
Despite being jerked off by what is probably a Japanese porn star, if not a Japanese porn star, a Japanese model.
Yeah.
As he keeps the voice going, he keeps the song very consistent. But
there's a couple of voice cracks, understandably. He loses concentration for just like a couple seconds and pulls some faces. But yeah,
I can deal with the concept of this quite well, but at the end there was a score. He scored 74, which I think might be good. I have no fucking idea. What the hell are they being scored on? Like, is it speed,
volume,
or is it how far he got through the song, his vocal, his tone, the mind is fucking boggled by just what is that? Like, what is he getting scored on?
Yeah, so we've borne witness to horror. It's interesting to say the least, but yeah. Japan wins this one.
Hands down, Japan win that one.
I don't see Florida winning. I tried looking for any weird Florida stories. I don't know if they behaved themselves this week, but there was nothing. I did see one story about a guy who approached an officer in a gas station and said, "Man, I'd really like to be a police officer like you." And the officer arrested him because he had a joint.
As joint as you.
Had a joint behind his ear. It's from a month ago. It doesn't really quite step to the level of being jerked off on camera while singing karaoke, but it was funny. But we just watched a man ejaculate while singing a song about a flower.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Japan take that one. Unless Florida next week have a guy being arrested while singing the Star Spangled Banner being jerked off by an American model. You're not going to win, Florida. You need to step it up. Japan's winning this race.
Yeah, Japan's winning. I think I think it's because when Japan does it, it's funny.
Public.
Yeah. Well, the other video we were handed by Lance was a race between two guys being jerked off. We're not going to make Dom watch that, but it was literally two women went down the street and went, "Hey, would you like to be jerked off on camera? It'll be a race." And asked about a couple guys before they found some willing participants, and then two dudes stared at each other while getting jerked off.
Yeah. The golden rule's been broken. Never make eye contact. Did they at least give them like executioner's hoods so they're not ID'd on TV?
No. They go around and they show the guys like accepting it as well. They're just kind of like, "Hey, how'd you like to come with us? We're going to go jerk you off, but it's going to be on camera," and they have to say yes to it live in the street.
That's a hell of a story to bring home to like your flatmate or your like partner or something. Like, what would you do today? "I went to work, got some sushi, and a beautiful Japanese model came up and asked if she could jerk me off." I mean, I had an hour to kill between I had to go back to work, so I thought, why the fuck not?
Yeah, I had to do something on the hour-long lunch break. Why not go get
finish
jerked
my
off?
lunch? Why not?
Might as well finish. Other than that, Japan versus Florida is over for another week. Let's see if Florida steps their game up next week. And let's continue on with something along the lines of sports.
Yep, we had the World Cup, Rugby World Cup continues this week. We had the South African team playing against Scotland in what could only be described as a victory for South Africa and a bit of a kick in the teeth to Scotland.
It was an outstanding last stand.
Yeah. We defended well, but the ref was giving us absolutely nothing. The ref was against us 100% of the way. But Nigel Owens, the man who refereed the game, famously hates Scottish people, we'll say, because he has refed Glasgow Warriors games. Everything's went to the opposite team. In Edinburgh games, same thing. When he's refed Scottish national games, everything goes to the opposite team. We don't know what it is. He just doesn't like Scottish people.
His name is Nigel Owens.
Yeah, he's
that
Welsh.
Could not. I was going to say that name could not be more like kind of Middle England if it tried.
No, the guy is extremely Welsh. Very extremely Welsh. I thought they were on our side, but no, he's the one Welshman that doesn't like Scotsmen.
Maybe he just hasn't been bought a drink yet, and that's what he's mad about. He's been up in Scotland for like 10 years reffing rugby and has not once been bought a drink.
Yeah, no one's walked past him and said, "Oh, buy a pint, wee man."
Will somebody please solve that and we can maybe get back to winning games again?
Someone send them a bottle of whiskey. Like, just sign the Scotland squad.
Saying we don't know what we did, but we're sorry.
We're sorry. Just give them a bottle of Jack Daniels and like some nice boxed steaks. Yeah. Like, this is our sorry for whatever we did. We don't know what it is, but we're sorry for it.
Some Aberdeen Angus beef and then some Ardbeg whiskey.
Might work.
I'd accept that apology.
Yeah, I would.
But yeah,
I don't think there's a man alive who would not accept that apology. Except if you're vegetarian or vegan, but then again, I question your masculinity if you are.
I did see a brilliant post actually. Somebody put this up on one of the Reddit threads that I don't really watch, but it's one of those things that once it gets spotted, it gets retweeted and reposted on stuff. And it was someone saying, how would you like it if when you bought packets of meat, it had a date of kill on it? And the vegetarian was ranting that you will then know that an animal died to feed your fat face and you shouldn't be allowed to eat meat and blah blah blah. First response was from a very logical meat eater saying, yeah, that'd be great, I'd be able to choose the freshest meat for my choice, it probably tastes better too. Fucking nailed them, you know.
That's what I love about like just intelligent people coming up saying, oh yeah, I'll probably get a decent cut of steak if I go for the fresh kills. Then your activist just has to deal with the fact that he cannot just rant and rave at these people and get a response. There's actually intelligent people in the audience.
He just facilitated meat eating.
Yeah, you've just made 9 people in your like targeted audience really hungry for a fresh burger. They're going to go into their store and buy like, oh, Aberdeen Angus burgers just fresh off the rack, so to speak.
I saw that and was like, vegetarianism's, it doesn't seem like a great idea sometimes. I can understand with like current climate concerns that we will at some point have to step away from eating as much meat and maybe try to modify our diet with synthetics or whatever. Totally cool with that. It's kind of an inevitable thing, but the radical vegetarian kind of thing is ridiculous. I did see as well that a member of parliament wants to treat meat eaters the same way that we treat smokers.
Okay.
The idea being that we'd warn people on packs about stuff. Bearing in mind that this member of parliament is also a radical vegan.
Oh, he's one of them.
She is one of them, and it's one of those things of someone who doesn't really understand the problem, just ranting and raving. Unfortunately, this person is in a position of power as a member of parliament, and yeah, we'll just let that deal with itself, because I imagine that at some point the internet will click on and realise, hey, this is kind of dumb and needs to be dealt with.
I kind of see it as a bit of a null point. Smoking can cause horrendous damage to your body. Eating meat is not even on the same scale.
No.
One tastes hella good, the other one makes you feel like you've just eaten a sandal. Meat eating's not anywhere near as bad for you as people claim it to be. Like, oh, it stays in you. If you eat a nice juicy steak, it stays in your colon for 9 years. Whatever. I've paid for that steak. I want it to stay in my gut.
It was expensive. I want to get my money's worth.
Exactly. In a country where we spend like £20 just on like steak, like in a restaurant, I want that to stay in my gullet, like in my body for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah. I shrug in despair at these people. I got nothing really.
Speaking of general like disbelief in humanity, this morning I got accused of being sexist.
Okay.
And I got called a waster from a woman on the train.
Did you dare to hold the door open for someone?
No. Right, the sexist part, right? I went to the chair elections for my college's law society. I was going for president. I wanted to be the head honcho of this law society. I got to the elections. I done my little speech, and they said, "This is Dom. He's been considered for president." Blah blah blah. A lot of formalities happened, and at the end, they kind of said, "Well, since there's only 5 candidates, you are all getting positions in the Law Society. You don't really need to ballot for it. You just need to decide amongst yourselves who's going for what. And I said, well, I think I'll go for president. And I listed all my like previous, not like experience, like being in management, etc. And one, she looked a bit like a feminist.
Right.
She said, "Oh, how dare you think you're a man? Just because you're a man, you think you can be the president of this Law Society? What if a woman could do it better than you?" I said, "I'm going for it because I think I'd be the best at it. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you can do. Maybe when it comes to it, people will vote against me and make you president. Just you're a sexist pig, and I hope you get nothing out of this." At that point, I just thought, "Okay, I'm getting nothing out of you." I turned away from her and addressed the rest of the class. She said, "Who would you? We're going to do votes again in a week's time. Who would you want to be president of this Law Society? Someone who could be calm and convey his point effectively, or someone who gets worked up over the tiniest little things?" And at that point, if I had a mic, I would have dropped it and walked out of that fucking classroom.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to handle that situation. I'd maybe just turn around and say, I am not presenting myself as a man, therefore the dominant. I am presenting myself on experience and relative understanding of management positions. If you want to run against me, please feel free, and just let her hang herself on the rope she's given.
Yeah, and on the train, I got called a waster because I used the train Wi-Fi. Old woman sat next to me, and I muttered to myself, "Oh, this free Wi-Fi is crap." And she went, "You're a waster." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Sponging free Wi-Fi off a train." I said, "It's here to be used. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be used. I'm going to use it. I pay £12 to get on the fucking train." She went, your generation's a bunch of wasters." And that. At that point, I moved down the train car because I just could not be bothered sitting and listening to this overly opinionated old woman.
Yeah, that might be a generational gap, but I'm going to stick the foot in and say, I've paid for a few train tickets recently. It's not free Wi-Fi. I am paying for that Wi-Fi.
It's £12 Wi-Fi that barely works half the time.
I get it okay because I travel at odd times, so half the train's empty. So it works for me.
I tend to travel like peak time, so I'm like 9 in the morning, 5 at night.
You're screwed.
Yeah, I get like a sliver of Wi-Fi.
For those of you who've never used it before, you get a little log-on screen that says you are one of X people connected. I get relatively one of 8 to 10.
I get
I'm
one of
guessing
38.
You get one of 30, yeah.
Yeah, one of 38. Or if I finish at lunch, it's still fairly peak time. I usually get your one of 20. So I get pretty like varying, still pretty high numbers.
And that one of 8, when I'm one of 8, it's still not great. But, it's Wi-Fi on a train.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be, massive download speeds, huge, quick app opening and stuff. I actually did download iOS 9, I think it is, that I'm on now. I only want to know why Apple keep fucking things up. I don't know why my music app takes so long to load. They've seemed to have tried to fit their Apple streaming service in there. And by fit it, I mean jam it in with a, hard boot. Those people are just intent on breaking their own technology. And I'm getting annoyed now that when I open up the Five Finger Death Punch, album listing, I can only play one album at a time now. I can't skip through. I can set up a playlist, and I have a quick playlist option, but I can't just push a button and listen to all of Five Finger Death Punch, and I can't listen to it in order of first album to last album, because 2 editions ago they decided that you would listen to newest to oldest, because who wants to hear the devolution of an artist?
Yeah.
Apparently that's a thing, so maybe
that sounds pretty dumb, but Apple probably have some method to their madness. There's some reason behind it.
I think that a lot of it was done to shoehorn in the streaming service, which you have to pay for. But I am someone who has his music.
Yeah, you own all your albums.
It's a disc and it's on my hard drive. I just want to listen to my music that I bought. Leave me alone. I shouldn't have downloaded this update. I don't know if I can backtrack. I don't think that they'll have a list of you can go back to iOS
go back to
8.
previous. Yeah, that'd be useful, but I doubt they do it because they want to promote the biggest, best version of their service, and with the new update, they think that's it. To be honest,
what they think and what is true might be slightly different.
I mean, Windows thought Vista was their best update, and Windows Vista was fucking dog shit. I can't use that thing now. Now that I've seen 7 and now 10, unfucking usable.
8's not bad. I wanna let 10 grow for a bit.
Yeah.
Let them throw out a couple patches and then I'll update, because I got a free update anyway. So
Yeah, free shit's always good.
I'll use it the month before. The month before, I think it expires in July or June next year.
Yeah.
I'll get a note of when it's due, and when your 1 year expiry is due, I'll use it for the month before. Then I'll start doing stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, maybe a good way to do it.
Back everything up on a hard drive. hold it there for like 5 minutes, update, and if everything still works, keep it. But if everything doesn't work, I'm going to run screaming back to 8.
Just run down to Microsoft office and go, I had everything on this, you fucking deleted it all. You'd put Bill Gates in his $10 billion owning ass.
It's like 68. It's ridiculous.
The guy could, at this point, he could probably wipe his arse with like $1,000 checks. He's probably making that much money per hour.
My favourite thing that I saw was Neil deGrasse Tyson had worked out how much money it's worth his time to bend and pick over. Like, he wouldn't stop for a penny, wouldn't stop for a dime, which is 10. He'd stop for a quarter, though. If you saw a quarter on the ground, he'd pick up a quarter.
25 cents?
25 cents. And he calculated that out based on how much money he has up to Bill Gates level. It was something like about 15 grand. It's not worth Bill Gates' time. It wouldn't. And if he was Bill Gates, he wouldn't stop for less than 15 grand or some shit like that.
So he could have 20 grand in his wallet and just like let the first 15 go free, but then he'd chase after the rest of it.
No, more to do with like, if you saw a coin on the ground, would you pick it up?
Yeah.
Is it worth your time? I don't know.
So if it was 16 grand lying on the ground, Bill Gates would go and pick that up. If it was like 14.5.
On Neil deGrasse Tyson's scale, that's where he'd stop and pick up the money.
Yeah.
If he was Bill Gates, or he was Bill Gates rich. I'm looking at that going, this is terrifying. I need to stop thinking about the number billion, because it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, they just kind of like put ... after it, because the zeros continue for so long.
10 to the power 9 is scary huge. Yeah. I am, speaking of money and the transactions you can achieve with it, I found an interesting Kickstarter on the go. It's called, I've got the name of it here. It's called Scarp, which is the Danish for sharp.
Okay.
And it is a laser razor.
A laser razor.
A laser razor, my friend.
That sounds like some James Bond villain shit.
It pretty much is. You are basically, you've seen or you've heard of like light treatment for
like laser hair removal.
For like incredibly hairy guys, really hairy chest, they don't want to go wax, they can go get it lasered off. Basically you beam light, it hits a certain point in the hair and that breaks. The same thing is being sized down to razor size, as in a handheld, very sleek looking razor. Not gonna lie here, I've put my money down and got one. $168 US. It's about 110 quid.
Yeah, it's 110, 150
for us here in the UK. I think it's going to be worth it. It's going to pay itself off at some point.
Yeah.
Considering how much, the idea is that you are literally beaming light, so you don't need any more razors. You don't need any, razor heads. You won't need to buy, no aerosol, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't
no
need,
shaving cream or anything.
Yeah. No shaving cream, no shaving foam. I use like a...
I just realised you shaved your beard.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it.
I'll get onto that later.
Sidetrack.
Yeah. But you don't need... I use like a shaving stick and you lather up like a brush and you put that on and you shave it off.
Yeah.
And you don't need any of that. And this will apparently last for 50,000 hours worth of use.
Is it like a rechargeable thing, or is this just like set and go thing?
I think it's AA batteries they're working on just now.
Alright.
They'll obviously develop it further, but the version that we're buying right now is put a battery in. Battery lasts for 400 shaves. Can't remember how much it was. But I was looking at it thinking, this will save money. Save water as well, because you don't need to wash anything to shave it off. It's just you're gonna drag the razor along, and there's a band where the light comes out. Where that makes contact with something, the light emits and breaks the hair. I can see that working.
I can see it getting quite a lot of backing, because that does sound fucking genius. And people...
Oh, it has.
People nowadays, they're either on one side of the beard thing or they're not. A lot of people that I know are going away from beards now. They're going for the clean shaven looks. And razors are fucking expensive. Last time I bought a razor, it was about like £15 for a good razor.
Right now, there's a lot of excitement about a thing called Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah, I've heard quite a lot of like podcasters and Phil DeFranco that I know we're both fans of. Yeah. One of his shows is sponsored by Dollar Shaves.
It seems that they do a good deal, and I went looking to see what type of razor they're actually providing you with, and it's what we in the UK call Gillette.
All right.
The Gillette Mac 4, which is the 4 razor one, that's one of the options. There's a 2, a 4, and a 6. So you basically order the kit for that, and they send it through. But yeah. This is a Kickstarter, normally averages about 28-30 days depending on how long you want to run it for, with 17.5 thousand backers. about to go to 17.6. They started with a goal of $1,600,000 and have raised $3.4 million with 13 days to go.
Fucking hell.
Shitballs. That's a lot of money.
A lot of people want to get a decent razor for cheap. Well, not for cheap.
Also,
But I suppose considering other like razors out there, you're buying maybe like a Gillette £15 razor every couple of weeks. It's going to pay itself off eventually.
I went reading through the development blog that they've got, and they've got some really good stuff on here. Like we're just talking about the process of making it. I was quite interested by the fact that only certain frequencies of light make it through and cut certain types of hair. They have managed to find one that pretty much does it all, and that's what they're basing on. That this idea has existed in some guy's head for 10 years while they were waiting for the light frequency to be correct, and they found it now. So that's them now just moving ahead with this idea. They've been working on patents and testing and making sure it's safe so that you don't give yourself cancer. But
Or like it doesn't burn through your skin. You've got a laser-shaped hole in your cheek.
yeah, the idea is that it hits the emission is so small and so controlled, it won't affect anything, and it's not done in the UV spectrum, so it doesn't give you cancer by damaging skin cells.
Yeah.
So I'm on board. I'm on board $189. I'm okay for that. For a razor that's supposedly going to last how many hours? Hold on. The battery will last, a AAA battery, which is quite small, will last a month
A month.
with normal use. Obviously, the idea is that this should be used on a beard. I've actually went and asked them through an email if it work on head hair as well, because I shave my head. And the laser has a life of 50,000 hours. Now, considering it's like, 5 minutes? 5 minute shave.
Yeah.
Pretty reasonable. Asking a man with a beard how long it takes him to shave, I imagine that 5 minutes is rather reasonable considering his time is 0.
Yeah. Although I do, when I do shave, I go like right close to the skin. And I go with a straight razor.
Yeah.
And that takes like no time at all because you don't have to go back and get bits because it's a straight curved blade going down your face. Like it's the line just going straight, the line of the razor just going like cutting the hairs down.
So we're
You
going
don't really need to go back and like do second phases.
12 times...
Live calculations on the Gibberpish podcast.
Over half a million shaves. I think that's pretty damn good. I mean, obviously, there's different things that... Apparently this is going to be waterproof as well. Tight design, which probably took months to get right. So, 500,000 shaves. I mean, that's... If you shave every day, it's apparently about 1,000 years, if I'm right.
That's a lot of fucking numbers.
Yeah, 1643. I may have gotten something horribly wrong, I may be completely wrong, but even if I'm off by a factor of 10, 164 years. Your
Pretty
entire life with one razor, if this doesn't malfunction. I'm game, I'll see how long it lasts, and expect it to roll out at some point in the next year. So, when it comes out, I think it's March next year, they're giving a launch date of, so we shall see.
And we will still be going at that time. You'll be giving a live review of it, hopefully without any horrible laser burns or...
Hey guys, I don't have a face anymore, but we're here to talk Gibberpish.
Welcome to the Gibberpish podcast. I only have one eye and my nose is hanging off.
Yeah, expect
But I have the smoothest skin ever.
I have one half of a face, but the half of the face there is silky smooth. Expect delivery of product in March 2016. Pretty damn close. I mean,
not too far away.
Yeah, it's just a case of manufacturing. They've got all their shit together, so it's looking pretty good. Although they have like an FAQ, and one of the questions that's been asked: why do you guys still have beards? We just like having beards. Yeah, it's fair. But yeah, me being shaven now, we're doing a beard race in effect. A couple of us from the lab are going to try and grow our beards from October till New Year. So let's see how this lasts. I imagine it'll work pretty well. I mean, it only took me 4 months to 6 weeks to get it right last time. So, a third of the time with a little bit of shitty hair and then full beard. And apparently the beard was good. Nobody really noticed how much they liked me with a beard till I didn't have a beard.
Now, that was one question I get asked quite a lot. Like, I've tried growing a beard. Struggle through the awkward, like, patchy dead hamsters all over your face. And just leave it. Don't shave. Just let it grow. It's my best advice to people who want to grow a beard.
It does work. Just kind of letting it roll out and just ease up. Don't think about it too much. Just have the beard.
Yeah, just let it grow. And there's no weird like exercises or things that you can eat to make your beard grow quicker. Just eat normally. The one thing I keep getting told is if you eat some combination of cod liver oil and another vitamin, it helps your beard grow quicker. says, no, you're going to be very regular, your bowels are going to be squeaky clean,
Yeah.
and you're going to have nice, supple joints, but your beard will not grow any quicker.
I actually wanted to cover something, and it's kind of related to Warhammer, but it also ties into the whole Kickstarter thing and crowdsourcing.
Okay.
So it might be interesting as an idea. There's a painter out there called Dave Taylor, who is pretty good. He's a great source of community comments, and he does a lot of really good work from scratch, like green stuffing and building his own models. He is working on the Warlord model for Forge World, which is the huge Titan, the biggest one they've done yet.
Okay.
It's about 2 foot tall. 2 foot tall at least of resin. That's terrifying. And he started a Patreon to support a kind of how-to guide he's going to make. It's strange that we now are going to fund somebody's hobby through Patreon. Now obviously this isn't specifically to go for his model. He's bought the model. He's just asking for support to produce videos about how to make it, how to paint it. And this guy is very talented. He's a very good painter. And he has acquired a model and is going to go through an entire start to finish guide. And his Patreon seems kind of strange that we now are at the point of just helping fund this guy's kind of work around this model. The lower level gifts kind of make sense that you're kind of supporting somebody you like. Lower tier being $5, it then goes to $10, $15 and $20 a month for a proposed 5 to 6 month coverage. So, just going to run it down real quick. The lower level, the $5, kind of makes sense that you are going to support your friend and an artist, and he is also going to work with a support company to give you a decal sheet. So like a layered thing you can put on models. So you're going to get something back.
Yeah.
Although the value probably not the same. There's like a mid tier where you get a custom sheet, which is kind of cool. I like that, but I'd rather just pay for the custom sheet than pay for somebody to make videos about models. And then you get to the highest level. Well, there's another middle level that we'll talk about, which is the interesting one for me. But the highest level, he will paint a special model for you. And this would be worth quite a bit of money, but it's a model sculpted by a winner of the Slayer Sword, which is GW's painting competition. A guy who has won 5 of these is going to sculpt and help build a model that this guy will then paint and send to you as part of the project. So the 5 to 6 months means that you're going to pay monthly about between $5 and $20 to support this guy's project. I wonder if it's worth it. Because when you get to the mid tier, which is where you kind of expect the majority of your people to be, the content that you get the decal sheets and whatever, you don't get the model, but you get to join his Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts being like a kind of chat room.
Yeah.
Or kind of like a Skype call as well. I think.
A bit like your live chats.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, is a cult of personality enough to justify spending the money? Because over 5 to 6 months, it's between $100
And this is for the
$120.
$15 subscription.
Yes.
To be honest, I wouldn't even look at that. Google Hangouts, or you get a high detailed, very skillfully painted model.
And with the top tier, you also get the Hangouts. Like, you get access to everything below, and you get a model.
Then the $15 one would be completely and utterly pointless then. You don't get the model, but you get a free Hangout, or you can go $5 more and get Google Hangouts, decal sheets, and a sculpted, painted, well sculpted, well painted model. But
twice a month, you get to hang out with a member of the community online. I can't sell it to myself.
No.
So yeah, I just thought it was an interesting example of a Patreon or Kickstarter or crowd-funded kind of campaign that wasn't quite right. Not far off, but not quite right.
You need to get these things right, because again, you're asking the general public for their input. You have an idea. If you're willing to put it out there and you're willing to go and put it on these websites like Kickstarter, crowdfunding sites, you need to have a solid pitch, not just, for $15 you can come and hang out with me. Do I get these decals? No, you don't. Do I get this model? No. So I'm paying $15 a month to hang out with you twice a week, or twice a month.
Yeah.
Please subscribe.
Dave Taylor's a very popular guy and does a lot for the community. But $15 a month to hang out twice a month?
Yeah, seems pretty shitty.
I'd rather, if you're going to pay something to hang out, go big or go home.
Yeah.
Well,
if that was meet up for a beer twice a month, then it'd be kind of worth it. Because then you're meeting the person face to face and you get to have that interaction with him. But through a Google Hangout, it'd be pretty boring.
I don't see what I could do. I'd maybe record a podcast episode with him. But yeah, I don't see the value in that kind of mid-tier. I just wanted to kind of bring that up as an example of you know, being head of a cult of personality, is that enough to fund your Kickstarter campaign? I didn't think so.
It might be enough for some people that are not interested in Warhammer, but like this guy's like his artistry or his technique, how he paints, how he applies decals, or even just his building or sculpting technique. People that like that kind of thing may get a kick out of that, but the majority of the people that would go for that are maybe the Warhammer fans. They'd want to meet him and get something from him, like the model. So I think for that, he's kind of shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, I didn't quite like it as much as maybe I should have.
Speaking of things that I should have liked more than I did, Doctor Who Season 9 has returned. And Lance, this is my ramble that I tweeted you about. Episode 1 and 2, I can't remember the names, but it was a two-parter centred around the Doctor has travelled back in time and
He can do that?
Yes, he has a time machine.
Really?
Yes.
Never knew.
He has a time machine. He travels back in time and he meets this, or who he thinks is just some random child who's been stranded on a battlefield. And the Doctor like throws him a sonic screwdriver. He says, right, you can hear me, only you can hear me through the sonic device. I'm going to help you get out of here. Then he asks him all these kind of questions, like, just to keep him occupied, because he's in a minefield. So, where are you from? And he says where he's from. He says, what's your name? And there's this big build-up. He says, I can't hear you. He says, tell me, boy, what is your name? And he goes, my name's Davros. And every Doctor Who fan knows that Davros is the creator of the Daleks, one of the Doctor's biggest enemies, because he's as smart as the Doctor, but he has every intention of killing his enemies. And also quite genocidal. I can't remember how the Time War starts, which is how the Time Lords die, how the Daleks died out. It's kind of instigated by Davros.
You don't have to explain much. He creates a race
of
whose
mindless killing
catchphrase
machines.
is exterminate.
You do see one of the cooler things in the episode. I'll say what I did like about the episode before I get into what I didn't like about it, because there's a lot of what I didn't like. I did like how you get a little sneak peek behind the inner workings of a Dalek, because the mistress, who's the master, regenerated into a female body, and Clara are going through Skaro, the planet of the Daleks. They're trying to escape, but Missy has this plan of, I'm going to hijack a Dalek and I'm going to put you inside the Dalek,
right?
And you're going to take me prisoner, and we're going to get out. We're going to find the Doctor that way because they've been separated. So Clara gets psychically linked to the body of the Dalek. She gets these weird little diodes stuck to her head, and whatever she says, it gets translated into like Dalek speech. So she's saying, or the mistress is saying, say I love you, and Clara's like, why? Why should I say I love you? She says, just trust me, it'll be funny. So she says, I love you, and it says exterminate. And she says, okay, what else? It goes, say I ask for mercy, and it says exterminate. Like, say I am human, it just says I am a Dalek. And it's cool to see how the Daleks work, how they're all about war and Daleks being the supreme beings. Another cool thing that was in the episode, it shows you the first instance of the Doctor actually being afraid. He runs about different time streams. He purposefully avoids any and all contact with Daleks. It shows him using a bit of ingenuity as well, because he doesn't have the TARDIS. He can. Right. At the end of the episode, you find that he scatters the TARDIS across time and space, but he has this weird device that can recombine it. Just as basically as a way of keeping the Daleks away from the TARDIS, because they think, destroy the TARDIS, destroy the Doctor. So he's found this little teleport device, but it needs some kind of weird space energy to power it. And there's one scene where he's surrounded by Daleks, but what he does is, as the Daleks fire their weapons at him, he funnels all the energy into this teleport device and uses it to jump away. So the Daleks think the Doctor's dead. He reappears on Skaro, shit hits the fan, blah blah blah. All in all, some pretty good elements to the show. The worst part of it was Davros, as I've mentioned, is dying. He's begging the Doctor to help him, because as much as he is adverse to the Doctor, he admires him. He does what needs to be done, and he's an incredibly intelligent man. And the Time Lords are essentially immortal. So if there's anyone that can help him live longer, it's going to be the Doctor. But in doing so, we get these really, really cheesy, horrible moments that just reek of really, really bad fan fiction, where the Doctor is talking to Davros and the two of them are laughing, and it just feels very cheesy and forced. They're sitting there going, haha, Doctor, I've always admired you, but we can all come to one agreement that you're a very horrible Doctor. And the two of them just start laughing across this thing, and I was creeped out by it. Just very, very creeped out by it. Villains shouldn't laugh unless it's maniacally, but Davros at this point is crying, and B, gives it like a solemn kind of chuckle. And at that point, I got a shiver down my spine. I was like, ugh, I don't like that. Really don't like that.
This is the thing of, in movies and in television, one of my favourite kind of scenes to watch is the sit down and quietly have a chat about how everything is going to go wrong. But it's not quite the grand exposition scene. I'm talking like people will sit down and have a chat about how they're going to murder each other. About I think Hannibal apparently does it best, the TV show, where Hannibal will sit down and say, with like another serial killer, and basically explain that the other serial killer has no option the other serial killer is going to die. There will be no way out of the room for that guy. Done right, terrifying and really engaging scene. Done wrong, complete horseshit.
Yeah.
Cheesy.
It comes off as just cheesy bullshit.
So Doctor lands on cheesy bullshit side.
Yeah, and the climax of that scene is the Doctor is tricked onto this platform where he is basically drained of all his regeneration energy, but in doing so, Davros says, I don't care about my survival, please help my children. And Doctor goes, I'll use a tiny bit of my regeneration energy to extend your life so you can see out your final piece of work. But then he stands on this platform, at which point he's drained of all his regeneration energy. Davros goes, you fell from my trap. I've taken all your regeneration energy. I've extended my life by several thousand years. They make that pretty fucking obvious in his explanation. Right in the episode, you've extended my life. I am now renewed for 1,000 years. And my children, they are now part Time Lord, part Dalek. And then the camera zooms out and the Doctor's like, no, Davros, you can't. As he's getting like all his energy taken from him. But as soon as this is all over, you think, right, this is going to be how the series is going to go. The Doctor's going to have to track down all these Dalek Time Lord hybrids, these perfect warriors, and it's going to be cool. Then the Doctor goes, I knew your plan all along. You cannot beat me, Davros. I have a way to retain all my regeneration energy. You got some pseudo-regeneration energy, or whatever bullshit excuse they fucking used. And then he proceeds to destroy Skaro again. After it being reformed or rebuilt by Davros, he just blows it up again. Every single Dalek that was on that planet gets melted down by whatever weird funky acid the Doctor manages to secrete from the walls. And that's basically the episode. Then the TARDIS reforms, the Doctor finds Clara again. The Mistress is off being fucking attacked by the Dalek plungers or whatever the hell it is. It was very, very poorly written.
Sounds kind of dumb.
It was very dumb, especially for a show that I liked its logic. With David Tennant and Matt Smith, it was a very logical show. It was complete bullshit, but the way they said it made you believe, that could actually happen if the science was right. But with this,
the timey-wimey stuff is real.
The wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff is all real. But with Peter Capaldi, the writing is taking such a tank, it makes it pretty hard to watch. Episode 3 is up, or it has been recorded. I'm going to go back and watch it now after I finish this. I will come back next week with another review of it, but I don't have high hopes for it. I was really looking forward to this next season of Doctor Who because the last season didn't really end on a high note for me. I was hoping they'd pick up on that and improve, but the weird thing is, according to the critics and stuff, Doctor Who is getting better, and I'm wondering where on fucking earth they're getting that from, because it's not getting better, it's getting worse. They need to do something, because they're not utilising half the good actors that they have. And the new kind of anti-hero, the Master, she is very hard to watch at times. Like, she puts on weird accents, and she lapses into very prim and proper British to very angry Glaswegian woman. She's played by Michelle Gomez, who's from Glasgow. I think if they do that, it's a good contrast between her and the Doctor. They're both Scottish. They're both, one's more carefree and kind of psychotic. The Doctor's more very stern and serious and all about finishing the fight and being a good person and all that crap. But instead they've just made her this weird kind of insane figure that does whatever the hell she feels like and will at any point stick a dagger in your back. It's just, I'm not enjoying this series. They need to pick it up.
Do you think they watched maybe something like Batman movies and went, I wonder if the Doctor should fight the Joker?
I kind of think that's what they're doing. They're trying to make, like, the Doctor's this, like, Batman character. He's always serious and he's always, like, stern. And then there's the Master, who she's a bit stupidly happy and all about destroying Daleks with some weird, like, titanium brooch thing that she wears around her neck. She literally pokes a hole in the Dalek like it's a balloon. And in the Doctor Who universe, the Dalek skin, which is called Dalekanium, or like polyhydrocarbide or something.
Lazy Rhytinium.
Lazy Rhytinium.
Yeah.
Is the strongest metal on Earth. Like, people have shot tank shells at it. It's dented it slightly, but then because it's a living metal, it just pings back in place. And the scuff marks just get instantly buffed out. But she just walks up to it with some kind of weird space metal brooch and stabs the fuck out of it, and it goes down. It was very, very poorly written. And I'm giving you a synopsis of this episode. I've not missed anything. There's nothing else apart from the scenes I've mentioned that happens in this. And this is a 2-hour long episode.
Wow.
It needs to pick it up. Because I can't be the only fan of Doctor Who that is watching this thinking, it's not that good.
I just wonder what are people seeing that you're not. And I'm kind of, all this makes me sound like I'm kind of glad I stepped away from it all after Eccleston, because I just can't believe some of the stuff I hear about the larger time plots or the larger plots of Doctor Who. Like, at one point he's fighting Satan. All I know is that Corey Taylor's going to be in at some point.
Yep, he is going to be voicing in the episode that I'm going to go home and watch after this. He's voicing a monster, but not its speaking voice. He's going to be its growls and its like guttural noises.
Because when you need guttural growls, why not go big?
Why not have Corey Taylor?
Yeah.
I mean, his speaking voice is no slouch either. It's you remember Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah.
You remember Pete, like their landlord that's always telling them to lock the door.
The guy who shows up at one point and he's naked at one point.
Yeah, he turns into a zombie.
When he's a zombie, he's in the shower.
Yeah, he was also the voice of Darth Maul in that Star Wars film that nobody fucking liked.
He was with Darth Maul?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Interesting.
Because there was the Olympian that was Darth Maul's like actual body in the film. Because he was doing a lot of backflips and shit.
The spear fighting.
Yeah, and they needed him to do like backflips and like triple lindies and shit.
Yeah.
But Peter Serafinowicz was his voice and the actual thing. But yeah, and he's going to be the voice of the monster. But Corey Taylor's going to come in and do his grunts and stuff.
If that's not the best vocal performance given this year, I don't know what will be.
Me neither. I mean, it's quite a funny story on how they got Corey Taylor. He was on tour in Cardiff.
Right.
And he made a point to go to the BBC and go see the BBC in Wales and go and see all the Doctor Who stuff. And at that point he said, I'm a massive Whovian, which is what they call Doctor Who fans. He said, I've been a huge fan of the show. And they said, well, we have something coming up. Do you want to be in it? And at that point, Corey Taylor was already in a voice recording booth saying, what do you want me to do? Growl? Done.
Huh. That's cool, because I did see a picture of him like in the TARDIS. I imagine there's a prop TARDIS you can take photos, because why the hell not? My
initial thought was, oh, he's going to be voicing a character. My initial thought was, how cool would it be if Corey Taylor was the 13th Doctor, or sorry, the 14th Doctor? That'd be cool as fuck.
Just for like one episode, like
I'd watch an entire series of that guy just as the Doctor, because he's an incredibly intelligent man.
I would, but at the same time, like if it was just a little fluctuation where it's just like a guest cameo appearance for the Doctor, where he
enters a pocket of space that alters his regeneration form. Instead of being Peter Capaldi, he changes into Corey Taylor.
He ticks forward like 7 Doctors, so when it comes to like in 7 years' time when they recast, we could reasonably see Corey Taylor being a Doctor Who character as actually Doctor Who, but he ticks forward a couple generations and then goes, oh no, now I'm Corey Taylor now, and just kind of runs around space.
In fact, that might actually work, because every regeneration since Peter Eccleston, the Doctor has always wanted to be ginger, and Corey Taylor's ginger. That could work. I mean, I'm not saying that we might have any fans that work for the BBC, but if you know anybody that works for the BBC, let them know. Corey Taylor is a massive fan of Doctor Who. He's ginger. Doctors always want to be ginger. Make this shit happen.
Hashtag Dr. Corey.
Hashtag Dr. Corey. Get that trending on Twitter, people. At Gibberpish.
At Gibberpish and hashtag Dr. Corey.
Hashtag Dr. Corey.
Yeah, I stepped away from Doctor Who, but I was interested to see the celebrity cameo.
Yeah.
And that it would be somebody so outside of what you'd expect. Like, if Taylor Swift comes on an episode of Doctor Who, I'm going to be like, yep, sure, whatever, but getting Corey Taylor, kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, little metal fist bump to those guys.
And if the creature at any point throws the horns up, that'd be pretty cool as well.
I imagine it's been heavily CGI'd, that's why they're getting voice actors in for it.
Yeah.
And it'll probably already be locked down, but when you realise you have Corey Taylor, you want to throw in some little Easter egg.
Yeah, just a little, even like a Slipknot S on the wall or something, that'd be pretty cool.
Somehow get the tribal S as part of its name.
Yeah. Or it's called the Fisher King, so you could just have F-I, Slipknot, like tribal S-H-R.
The Fisher King, interesting.
Yeah. I have no idea what it's about. It's something to do with I think the episode's called Under the Lake, or Under the River. Full synopsis, full review next week, because it looked like a pretty good episode. No stupid master character to piss me off. It's just Clara and the Doctor. Because as much as people have taken a bit of adversity towards Clara recently, I've always thought she's one of the better Doctor Who companions. She wasn't one of those follow the Doctor into the abyss type characters like Rose was in the initial series. She's actually got a backbone. She's willing to put stick a finger in the Doctor's face and say, no, we need to do it this way. We need to save as many people as possible. She's her own character. She's not just blindly following the Doctor.
I suppose it might be one of those episodes that's like every couple of episodes of Supernatural, they have to go back to the roots where it's just the guys hunting monsters.
Yeah.
This might just be Doctor Who solving an issue in the space-time continuum.
Yeah, he needs to go and fight some aliens.
Speaking of really nerdy shit we really enjoy, you missed it, but Death Battle did their Hercule episode, which...
I missed it, but I called it.
You called it.
I fucking called it.
You did indeed call it, and in a previous episode you said that Hercule should fight Dan from Street Fighter. Dan being a perpetual fuck-up, by the looks of things.
Being the one guy that was purposefully trained wrong.
Apparently, because they do the background of both characters that are involved in it, they mentioned that he wasn't trained wrong, he just wasn't allowed to train fully because he was going to use it for vengeance. One of the characters murdered his dad in front of him, and Dan swore vengeance. So Dan goes off and starts training with Ryu and Ken, doesn't quite make it all the way, and says, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway. And is so bad, his only victory was against Sagat, the guy who killed his dad, and who then decides to throw the fight because he pities Dan so much. This is the canon story. I was like, you can probably try and make him fight a way through a win, but in the canon, he's only beaten Sagat once because he threw the fight.
There has been other fight. There in the movies and through some of the comic books, he fights characters like Sakura, who's basically just a female Ryu, but her version of their martial art is weak as well and like half formed, but even she managed to beat Dan at Dan's like highest potential.
Is that the schoolgirl?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the comic book they showed was that Dan taps into an ancient primal energy of fury that basically implants a kind of demon inside you, and it unleashes everything you've got. And then he trips over a school bag and fucks up and like loses all the energy and concentration he'd built up. Just fucking brilliant. But he was going up against Hercule Satan from Dragon Ball Z. No surprise that Hercule Satan wins in the fight, because although he is a liar, a cheat, and has basically been, tricking his way to the top for years, he is actually very strong. They point out the fact that Hercule Satan has pulled 4 buses, approximately 60 tons, and has done that into an arena. So pretty heavy going, can punch his way through 19 tiles in a row, like as in straight down one chop, 19 tiles gone, and can tear 3 phone books in half. So Hercule wins it. Although you should watch it because the actual fight itself is a gift. Like the animators just said, wonder how much fun we can have with this, and they just start dicking around with dumb concepts, and it works.
I need to watch it. I finally got around to watching the Raiden Wolverine fight. That was pretty well done, although as a fan of the Metal Gear Rising game, which Raiden comes from, he doesn't actually have the Muramasa or the Murasama sword. His sword is a completely different weapon. He kills someone and takes that weapon at the very end of the game. It's not his weapon.
Yeah, but the idea is that you put both these guys at their peak.
Oh, right, I thought it was just whatever they had at the time.
I think that the idea behind the show seems to be we will take them at their best and put them against their opponent at their best to solve the argument of somebody going, well, in this comic book he has this weapon. They give them all the weapons, all the gear, all the experience they ever need, and every achievement they've ever really done, and just give them that. So that's why he had the vibrating power sword.
Fair enough. That was the only gripe I really had with it. It was beautifully animated. These guys at Death Battle do not fucking slouch when it comes to this stuff.
The Hercule Satan versus Dan fight is 8-bit or 16-bit style, and it's very well done. But the actual...
because they just take sprites from the games, don't they? They don't make their own.
I think they took a sprite of Dan, because you can see a lot of the animations are stuck in Street Fighter poses where there's like the fight pose and then like a kind of flinch pose when they get hit, and you can see that pop up. And I was just paying attention to the animation, and Hercule's been de-resed down to about the same thing.
Although, well, I suppose there's the old like 8-bit games that all the old 8-bit Butoden games that came out in like the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Mega Drive that you could just take Hercule sprites from. I
didn't know that Hercule, his master, was killed by General Tao. Apparently, if you go watch the episode, they dig out some fact that Hercule insulted a mercenary general, and it's General Tao, and he kills the master, or kills Hercule's master or trainer. And just I didn't know there was like another like layer of continuity behind the whole thing, but that's what starts him off as being, I'm going to just master this martial art. And apparently he was quite gifted, but obviously when you put him on the power scale of Dragon Ball Z, fucking worthless.
Yeah, so, you may be able to pull a bus, but at one point I'm pretty sure Goku could pull a planet.
Goku has like pushed up, like push press with one hand 40 tons.
Yeah.
And at one point he has 10 tons on each limb, and is just throwing that around like it's nobody's business. And then you've got stuff from Super, when Super and the movies that are coming out now, which are going to like just blow the power scale completely out the window. But he is now just like pulling entire trains at this point, just for fun, for training, and that's at base level.
Yeah, they did make a point of souping up Goku in his base level for the new movies.
Yeah.
He's not as reliant on his Super Saiyan forms anymore.
Which we will now see, because I'm shifting my work pattern, and you want to go see Resurrection F, because I've seen a not great copy of it. I'm not going to lie, I was slightly put off by the audience cheering and the baby crying in the background in the video I watched.
Motherfucker.
Damn.
It's got to be a pain in the ass. Like, oh, he's going to, like, shut Junior up and try to watch Goku beat the living crap out of Frieza.
Yeah, but we will now go see that in just about 2 weeks' time.
Just under 2 weeks time.
2 weeks' time, I'll be back with that, so we'll let you know how we think of Resurrection F now that we've watched a proper HD cinema copy.
Then soon after that, I will buy the Blu-ray edition because they've released in America and I think in Japan they released this really cool Blu-ray edition. You get these really high quality art cards and you get a couple extra bonus things in it. But in the box that it's presented in, it's like the dragon going through like the different panels of the bifold thing.
Yeah,
and like a cool like picture of Goku and Vegeta on either side in Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan form. But
yeah.
I don't know if that's going to come to the UK. If it does, be assured that I will buy that.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, just take the credit card. It's got like a lot of money left in it. Do what you want. Just give me the fucking DVD.
Just start adding zeros. I don't care.
Yeah. Like, it was only 20 quid, but I don't care if I'm paying 200. Just take it.
I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing it with you because we don't see. I think we've ever really sat and watched the film together, other than
We did watch-
hanging out here.
Yeah, we did watch Battle of Gods when I bought it on Blu-ray, but because of work last year, I couldn't go and see it at Scotland Loves Anime.
Yeah, I think the last film we watched might have been Rise of the Shadow Warrior.
Yeah, and that was fucking painful.
That was so bad. It's one of those movies where
Was that the one with the girl with the like green contacts in or something?
the really hot elf chick.
Yeah, you could tell she was either a porn star breaking into mainstream media, or she was a model trying to take herself seriously as an actor.
Yeah, it was really, really good / bad.
Yeah, and the orc guy with the ill-fitting mask that kept splitting away from his face.
To the point where you could see his actual human skin underneath. Such a good movie. It was an absolute classic. Something
It was one of those alcohol movies. Like
Yeah.
you need to have some degree of like libation to watch these films.
Still sitting there dumb. We can watch it again if you want.
No, I'm good.
You gonna stab me?
No, I'm not going to snap. I'm just going to throw that out the window. Make sure no one can see that again.
Yeah. Well, what you don't want to throw out the window is my copy of the Gundam Wing series. We were talking about it that you'd managed to grab Endless Waltz.
Yeah, managed to rewatch that.
And I grabbed in retaliation, I one-upped and grabbed the grabbed Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
And kind of got through the first 4 episodes before you came up this morning.
Yeah.
It's good. It's okay. It's a bit dumb. But
Yeah.
it's really dumb at some points. Really
Some
angsty.
really dumb, like overly angsty characters in it.
Oh boy, I swear if somebody just doesn't explain... I mean, that half of an anime could be solved if someone just sat down and explained, here's what I'm doing, here's who I am, here's what we're going to go to. And it wouldn't take anything away from the series. Angsty bullshit characters are still angsty bullshit, even if they are badasses when somebody starts throwing knives around the place. Motherfuckers, please just, have a conversation. You'll save us all some time. But yeah, I got the DVD box set. And I bought it from France because it was the only place it was available with options for audio in French, English, and Japanese. I went looking into the settings of it and they had an about this dub section, or about this remaster, because it's the HD remaster. They went from the original Japanese negatives, which means that the lip sync wasn't quite perfect for the English dub, but it does work. It's like 90%. They describe it as, but just be prepared for a lip flap that wasn't there in the wrong version. So the original audio, the automatic settings are for Japanese with English subtitles on a French DVD. Like, France doesn't even get a look in. So fuck France.
Yeah, why not? Fuck France.
I forgot how annoying the character of Relina was, who's the princess character almost. She's the daughter
She's some
of
form of foreign dignitary.
She is the daughter of the foreign trade minister, who, I'll be honest, it seems like she just blacks the fuck out every now and again. Like, she just forgets where she is, and then somebody goes, Relina, aren't you going to blow those out? And she's like, what? And then somebody go, the candle's on your 18th birthday cake?
It's your birthday cake.
Like, she needs a little kind of reminder, somebody just walk along holding your hand saying, you remember what this is, right? Yeah?
I think the best example of that is in episode 1, when Hiro receives the birthday invitation and just rips it up in front of her. Says, you talk to me again, I will kill you. And she,
Oh no, it's just straight, I am going to kill you.
it's like a
Because
freeze
I've got that on here as a note I want to talk about.
It's like a freeze for 10 seconds. That had been acceptable if she then walked away going, holy crap, that guy threatened to kill me. But she stays there for about 5 minutes just going, like gawping at the ground, just going, this guy's going to kill me.
She's shaking with anger at one point, but you look at it and go, I'd have just turned and walked away, or I'd have made an ass out of Hero for, like, in public for that. But my main point is just afterwards, she's trying to find who Hero is. She leaves her birthday party, which has been the biggest deal of her life because she's an 18-year-old girl, and has invited all of her friends to say happy birthday to her, which I always found weird. But she goes out of the party, drives flat out and finds Hiro at a shipyard, which is covered in explosions. Like, you can see explosions going off in the background. Hiro is fighting his way towards a submarine to unleash a set of missiles to destroy his Gundam suit, like his mobile mecha suit, which has been lost at the bottom of the ocean. And he just wants to destroy it to hide the evidence of his attack. And she sees this guy, who she's met once at school. That's all the interaction we've seen between them. And he blew her off, tore up the birthday note, as you said, and then threatened to kill her. And then as he's activating, like, he's pushing the buttons to activate missiles on a submarine, she says, "Hey, I just want to get to know who you are." What the fuck? Leave, run, start sprinting and go, this guy's a crazy person. He's a ninja assassin. He's threatening to kill me.
This guy's some kind of super soldier. He has missiles.
I'm next. Like, just fucking run. And she's just like, "Hey, you were really rude to me. Just tell me who you are and we'll talk this out." Bitch, move!
And that's the thing, Hiro always has some form of weapon on him. So
Yeah.
Like, Hiro just should have pulled his pistol and went, "Bitch, government operative here. Fuck off."
I was watching it, and the idea is that the Gundams are being sent to destabilise the Earth, or to destabilise the Earth's military forces. Am I correct roughly in that?
The whole point is the colonies are being ousted by the Earth Federations.
Yeah.
They want, or the colonies are trying to go for independence, or they're trying to be recognised as their own individual kind of...
Yeah. It'll be the colonies, and the Earth is a separate thing.
It's not just the Earth is its own thing, and the colonies are like offshoot, like reject things. They want to be recognised as like fully fledged like organisations.
They want to form their own coalition, their own government and stuff.
But the Earth is trying to take over the colonies and bring them back in as part of the Earth Federation, and they are prepared to launch massive attacks on these colonies. So then, like, a scientist from each varying colony creates these mobile suits and sends them to Earth under the guise of, or under the name Operation Meteor.
Yes.
But Operation Meteor fails horribly. It doesn't even get to stage 1.
Well, the idea of Operation Meteor is that they all should have landed on Earth and started a kind of guerrilla warfare campaign to just cripple the Earth's strategic forces. So they show up and they go after factories that produce mobile Gundam suits.
All the different, the main rival, or the main enemy factions called Organization Zodiac, the Oz Foundation.
See, Oz, that's the weird thing, is the Oz Foundation is a thing on itself. The main thing they go at right now, like in the initial launch of Operation Meteor, seems to be just Earth's military forces for the kind of coalition of Earth. They go after those guys first. The Oz Foundation is working in the background to assimilate the Earth forces under their rule and then go at it. As in, they want to take the power, then they'll go deal with the colonies. But they just want to secure power on Earth first through their specialist elite soldiers who also pilot Gundams, or who also pilot mobile suits, one of whom has an equivalent of a Gundam.
Yeah, the suit, the mobile suit they call referring to as a suit called the Toggies, which is a blueprint model for every single other Gundam.
But it was too big.
Yeah, it basically gave...
It was inefficient, basically.
Yeah, it gave the mobile suit... What was it they called the mobile suit? Is like operators or pilots?
Yeah.
It basically gave the mobile suit pilot a heart attack because of how fast this thing could go.
Yeah, there was issues with its specifications.
And it would like crack bone, like it would crack ribs if you... The G-force that this thing generated was too much. It would kill the pilot, or if not, severely wound them.
Yeah, they shelved it, and the idea seemed to be like... It seems that the idea was to cripple Earth, save the colonies, and let the colonies establish themselves, which is fine until you realise it seems that all the different pilots are working independently. They show up and they have no idea who the other people are.
Well, that was the whole point of Operation Meteor. They had their own individual tasks, and they had to do it independently of the other Gundams.
But it doesn't... Like, they have... But the idea is, at one point, there's two of them fighting each other because they have no fucking clue who the other suit is, who the other person is. They assume that it's someone there to stop them, when the other guy showed up to help. Like, it just seems like the most ass backwards. They haven't really thought this out or planned this or communicated with anyone's strategy. I'm looking at it going, are you fucking kidding me? This is just a pretense for more angsty bullshit.
It's anime.
Yeah, it's anime. One of the reasons you gotta love it is just they're pretty fearless on the whole, just going nuts deep on angst.
But you don't really watch Gundam for its stories. The story is nice, and the whole war between these, like, the colonies and Earth and how the colonies just want recognition is pretty cool, but you just watch it for the battles. The battles are expertly done.
Yeah, the detail on this show is amazing.
For an anime that came out in the very early 90s, it is still holding up quite well today. I can't wait for a Blu-ray release of these DVDs.
I put it on par with Akira, the proper remaster, full version of Akira.
Yeah, I'd put it up there as well.
But through a TV series, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mainly put Akira on Gundam's level anyway, because it goes, like, in my book, Akira will always be my favourite, like, anime anything. My favourite movie of all time as well. Then it goes like Gundam Wing, then Dragon Ball Z. I know a lot of people put Dragon Ball Z on the top shelf. Gundam came before Dragon Ball Z for me. I never really started getting into Dragon Ball Z until Gundam had finished, and Dragon Ball Z was kind of into the Saiyan saga, no, the Frieza saga.
Yeah.
So he was like, my first episode was when Goku goes Super Saiyan, and I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. He's blowing up planets by getting angry. Watching this.
Yeah. But I just was watching it and thinking, yeah, that's pretty cool, but I'm actually, for some reason, more interested in this kind of underground coup of the Oz Foundation, of them just trying to take over the power from within. And one thing that they really do well is the narrator as a character in himself, because the narrator for the English version just sounds so good. He has amazing gravitas, just the delivery of it sounds like he's narrating the Civil War documentaries or something like that. So I'll be finishing the rest of that soon.
I think I get paid by SAS on Wednesday, so I think I might pick up my own copy just to watch it as well.
These DVDs will be kind of free soon. My brother might get them, or you might get them, so I'll just hand them over to you for a bit. If you're going to wait for Blu-rays, you might as well just refresh it on a free copy.
Yeah, that's true. Because I went back and rewatched some other Gundam stuff, because the original, very, very first Mobile Suit Gundam was getting a Blu-ray release through a company, I think it may be All the Anime or Anime Kaze. They're getting a Blu-ray release through that, and I cannot fucking wait, because I never really watched the original Gundam series. I've played it through like games like Dynasty Warriors Gundam and various other Gundam games, but I've never really watched it, so I'm very much looking forward to watching that.
Because I wouldn't mind borrowing your copy of Wing, Gundam Wing Zero? Endless Waltz, sorry.
Yeah, Endless Waltz. I mean, I've watched that like a few times, so then, like, I might shoot that up to you sometime this week.
Have you watched Wreck yet?
Wreck? Shit, no.
Listened to 5 Ring Death Punch yet?
Nope.
Your reviews are falling far behind, my friend.
Yeah, I've got a lot of shit to do. But I'm like, I get paid. Like I said, I get paid this Wednesday. The money is either going on a new desktop or a new laptop, because I've gone far too long without them. My iPod is limping on. I haven't updated it in the better part of 3 months, so there's probably a backlog of podcasts that I have to listen to as well.
Yeah. And then
I need to update my music and stuff, so I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and invest money in a decent desktop or laptop, whatever's cheaper. Whatever I get more use out of, because the computer was for me and my older brother. If I get the laptop, it's pretty shitty on him, so I think we'll just get something for the both of us.
So, I mean, unless you had anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, nothing much, man.
Nah.
Okay. It's been a pretty quiet week for me.
I think next week we'll start looking at, because game releases are starting to come out, see what we can get our hands on. Might not be cheap, but we'll see what we can do. But yeah, until next week, I've been Colin Graham.
I've been Dom Anderson.
And we've been talking Gibberpish.